Hello, sweet sisters. Here we are on a Friday heading into the weekend. And I wanted to jump on and say a quick hello. It's been rainy here. Already had my 4-mile walk this morning. That's a dedication to just simply trying to stay fit and healthy and use this, use our wonderful vessel that we've been talking about here. So I'm hoping that maybe we can have comments come up today because I don't know if there is something else going on here. But anyway, I'm gonna jump in. It doesn't show comments again, so I'm sorry. I can see you all jumping on. I guess I'm going to have to get some tech help. So today, I wanted to jump on right quick before I head out for a haircut. That's what I have to do because my hair grows like a chia pet. Whoop, whoop. And so by the time I get to my haircuts, so some of you will relate, they have problems there. And she's like, what is it? What are you drinking? And it usually has something to do with green juice. But today I wanted to have a quick message about the word compassion. We throw this word around, compassion, and it's what does it really mean? You know, what does it really mean? And so whenever I'm struggling with how to either absorb something or reinterpret something, I tend to go to the dictionary because I am a book nerd. I've shared this with you all. So I looked up the definition of compassion. And what it says is a sympathetic consciousness of others' distress with a desire to alleviate it. Sympathetic consciousness of others' distress with a desire to alleviate it. So I decided to dive in and say, okay, what does this consciousness mean? You know, we again throw that word around. And it's the quality or state of being aware, especially of something within one's self. All right, so we're going to have some consciousness around others' distress. Well, what does distress mean? Because we're all learning that distress means something different to each of us, right? Well, distress means the pain or suffering affecting the body or mind. All right, well, that seems pretty self-explanatory, doesn't it? I'm going to give you an example of how this is showing up in the world in just a moment. And so the last word I decided to look up to find out what does this word compassion, what message does it have for us, is sympathetic. And so sympathetic means showing empathy, and empathy is the action of understanding or being sensitive to. So let's go all the way back to the definition. Compassion. Sympathetic consciousness of others' distress with a desire to alleviate it. So we're all being asked to have a different level of compassion, and I have been wrestling with this issue myself. So I wanted to invite my friend Julie, okay, my friend Julie. Now, Julie is going to represent the collective. All right, don't you like her? Okay, Julie. So Julie is going to represent the collective of any friends or family that we have relationships with that perhaps we are tap dancing and maybe having challenging times. So Julie and I, you know, we've known each other for a while. We've known each other for years, and I'm hearing this from many of you, okay? I've had some messages from you where all of a sudden people who've known each other can't have conversations, and it's reaching a bit of a crisis point. So if I just use my own personal example, so Julie does not represent any single person or thing. It represents a collective of people and relationships and observations that I've noticed, okay? So I'm putting that disclaimer out so no one reads into it what it is that they think I'm saying. So what's happened though is that even though Julie and I have had differences over the past couple years, it's been manageable. But something changed in the past few weeks. Something has changed. And now all of a sudden, Julie is looking at me differently and I'm baffled trying to say, what is happening? Well, there's a big difference between Julie and I. So Julie still tends to go to the mainstream media for their news and the way they see the world. I've been unplugged for a while, okay? And so it hasn't been that big of a deal. We've noted we see the world differently. You remember yesterday I said to be aware of the fear factor? Well, what I've realized what's happened in the past, okay? In the past few weeks is that Julie has a new lens through which to see me now. So Julie has a new lens through which to see me. So I tend to refer to lenses, the belief systems that we have, as lenses through which we see the world. They're not good or bad, but what's dangerous is when we don't know we have them on. Well, Julie, all of a sudden, when you look at what's happened since January 6th, all the way through the month, through the inauguration and through now, Julie has been repeatedly told that anyone who might have been affiliated with January 6th, anyone who might disagree with the election, anyone who is going against the narrative, Julie has been told multiple repeated times that anyone who falls into those categories is a danger. And so then what happens when we've been saying the same thing today that we've been saying for months, all of a sudden now it's a bigger deal because Julie sees danger. Isn't that what's happening to some of us? And so the challenge becomes is we have a couple of different choices, okay? How do we have compassion for what they might believe to be true, because that's the lens that's on right now? How do we have compassion for that and compassion for ourselves? Because it's like many of us are living in two entirely different worlds. Can anybody relate? Two entirely different worlds. Why? Why is that? Well, I don't think that's going to be something, something that can be fixed. So I could go up and just try to rip Julie's glasses off. Well, that's not going to go very well. Some people like their glasses. Some people like their lenses. So how do I still be compassionate and offer love while Julie has on these lenses? I have on my own lenses or different lenses or no lenses today. And yet we've still got to exist in the same kind of world. So I've really, really been thinking about this. And because I've received so many emails and notes for some of you, you're always welcome to reach out at me, Kim@KimberlyFaith.com. I'm hearing that this is happening in households with children, with grandparents, with sisters, siblings. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I don't bump into somebody that's having this kind of thing go on. So wherever we are in the world, we are going through the fact that we have different realities that are happening because we have a splitting of worlds. So I want to think about, we've got the old that is being ushered out, and that is going to be very challenging to people who are holding on to that. And we've got a new world being issued in. Well, as we do this, may we all be mindful of not causing so much collateral damage that we can't find our way through this. Because the intention, the dark always wants to divide us. Please be mindful of that. That is the intention. And no matter where I've been with any hurt or feelings of betrayal or concern or just sheer bafflement, I don't think bafflement is a real word, so don't look that up in the dictionary. But wherever we are, the darkness, the enemy, wants us to be separated. They want us to feel isolated. They want us to feel alone. And I continue to go back to, how do we have compassion? How do we choose love over fear? And so when I go back to this definition, and I'm sorry I can't see your comments again. I will get somebody to help me with tech today, folks. I just didn't want you to think I'd forgotten about you. When I go back to compassion, my question is do I want to offer compassion? And that's the question I'd offer all of you. Do I want to offer a sympathetic consciousness of others' distress with a desire to alleviate it? And that answer is yes. That answer is yes. And I know if I had conversations with many of you, it would be yes for you as well. So how do we do that as we move forward the world? I ask you to please feel free to put those in the comments. So I'll go and check all the comments after this broadcast. But compassion is important. Compassion for ourselves is we don't understand why. Why did my friend Julie all of a sudden see so differently? And I'm going, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't have that lens. But I love you. I don't know where it's happening. I don't know why we're here. And there's truly this bewilderment that I'm seeing no matter where people are in the world. So may we all have compassion for ourselves. Understanding that these are challenging times, but may we have compassion for each other. May we offer each other a second guess and go back to the things that we know. You know, every time I'm talking to leaders about when the more they advance, the more they're not going to know. And I keep going back to that phrase, here is what I do know. Here is what I do know. And so while Julie and I may not be seeing eye to eye at the moment, okay, and it's challenging, I don't want to get rid of Julie. You see, and that's what I'm watching happen is that people are fighting each other and pushing each other and saying, well, maybe we just can't get along. And I'm saying, I'm going to choose right now until we figure out and some kind of clarity comes in the field of vision for us all. I'm going to choose compassion And if compassion is trying not to cause any more trouble at the moment until these lenses are removed, or until we have a new lens, or until I have a new lens, whatever it is, folks, we've got hundreds of lenses that are hanging around that are influencing us all. So I choose compassion. I choose compassion. So these are not easy times, and these are decisions that are made in micro moments day by day. But I offer this to us all because I know it's something that I too am dealing with. And based on the conversations and the emails I'm receiving from some of you, you also are dealing with it. Compassion. May we all have an extra awareness. Maybe have an extra awareness is when fear is tap dancing, because that's what this is. This lens is fear. This lens of being perceived by others or danger. I mean, I just watched a video this morning where a woman literally freaked out and ran away from another human being because she felt that another human being was that dangerous to her. Folks, may we all, sweet sisters, may we all find our way that our fellow human beings are not the ones that we're suffering from. We have a darkness that has descended in this world that is trying to divide families and friends and communities and countries and people. We can rise above it. We can rise above it. And so despite whatever is being slung your way, my way, I invite us all to find what compassion means for us. And so if you don't like that definition, then again, go back to writing down what you want your own definition to be. Compass. When I see the words compassion, I see compass. And when I see a compass, I think of what direction am I going? What direction am I going is to fortify and take care of my family and friends and my country and life and the power of life and the well-being of life. When I see the word compassion, I see compass. Am I clear about what my compass is? I am very clear. I am very clear every single day about what my compass is. That's what I see when I see the word compassion. What do you see? I would love to hear from you. What do you see? So, for some of us, it's going to be personal compassion, giving ourselves a break, inviting ourselves to find out what is our compass, what is our direction. But what I do know, despite all that we don't know, what I do know is that we were designed for these times. What I do know is that love is the most powerful force in the universe. And what I do know is that when we have the Julies of the world that want to be angry at us, we can still love them. We can still love them. You know, I went through this with a Julie in my world many years ago. We had a falling out. She didn't like the direction I was going in. She literally exiled me out of her life for 5 years. 5 years. And every year I still sent her a birthday card, and I still sent her a note, and I still let her know that I loved her. I didn't have a response for a long time. And I remember being so hurt by that, and I said, you know, I still love her, and she can't stop me from loving her. What happened? 5 years passed, and somehow in years 6, 7, and 8, we have renewed our friendship with each other. Love conquers all, my sweet sisters. So, wanted to offer that to you this morning. Have some compassion for yourself. Find verses that maybe resonate with you, compassion. Write a definition of compassion. And remember, we can still love even if others don't want to love us right now. That's the choice for us all, isn't it? How do we have compassion even in the most challenging of times? So, I offer that to you on this Friday. In the meantime, I'm going to figure out what lens is it that people are seeing me through because there's a lot of work for us all to do. Sending you all much love, much light. Have a good weekend. I'll check at your comments and hopefully I can figure out this tech stuff by the weekend. Take care, everyone.